two. David Close is out there. Ricky Grace puts up a three and he makes it.
And for the first time, it's held on at the Perth Entertainment Centre erupts to announce champions for the second year.
It's won their third championship in the NBL. Champions for 19.
Every single year, the expectations are the same. The Perth Wildcats have to continue the streak. It's at 35 years at the moment. Number one goal, continue the streak, and then from there, win the championship.
They hold the record for the number of finals reached by any sports club. So that is just an incredible legacy and something that doesn't happen by accident.
Walk into the club rooms and you see all the history. You see Scott Fisher, Ricky Grace, Mike Ellis. Walk in there and you just really understand what the beast is.
For the 2010 NBL champions, the Perth Wildcats.
When you first sign at the club, you don't want to be a part of that team that unfortunately disrupts the magic run.
Pressure's good, brings out the best of pretty much everyone, knowing that you got to play at your highest level every game.
If you look at the roster right now, this is a good enough roster to not only make playoffs but also to win the championship.
We've proven it history-wise. We've got the personnel, we've got the systems, we've got the structures. But most importantly, it's the people. We've got great people of good character that are ready to win.
First time back-to-back in 26 seasons.
When you look around the world, no one has achieved a streak like this, and it's just so famous within Australia and within basketball in general. Players talk about it, coaches talk about it. Just do not be the people who are responsible for ending the streak.
You know, I have plans to be here next year, and unless there's a big change of life offer coming from anywhere, but no, that's speculation that's unfounded.
Today's a bittersweet but very proud day for the club. Yesterday, Trevor made contact with the club and requested a release from his contract after being offered an opportunity in the NBA. Trevor's outstanding tenure as the head coach of the Perth Wildcats has come to an end.
No one necessarily saw it coming. We knew that he had aspirations to go to the NBA, but there hadn't been as much chatter around him at that point.
He's done so much with Perth and in this league in such a short span of time. I felt it was only right that he get his opportunity to, I guess, further his dreams.
Hey, don't worry about it. What's past is past. Let's get on with the future. Yeah. Right?
The hard work is then just trying to go replace him, so that's what we had to do and jump on that pretty quickly.
The disappointment of Trevor Gleeson going soon was solved because we got this NBA guy that was part of the Boston Celtics. He was under Brad Stevens. I mean, he could coach, there's no doubt about it.
You got a new coach coming in from overseas, replacing the most successful coach in this club's history. You got a new owner coming in from interstate, replacing one of the most successful businessmen in this state's history. There was genuine fear from a lot of Wildcats fans when Hutchie took over because he is a character on TV and he's a businessman behind the scenes. But what he does and what he's been able to do with media entities throughout this country has been fantastic. And I think what we've seen pretty quickly is SEN are serious about being a strong owner, serious about helping this team succeed. So you've got so many different people who are involved in the running of the club and no one knew how that was going to be handled.
Where is the head coach? Good question. He's in quarantine. Scott Morrison is in quarantine right now.
So don't run out here on the catch. Let the guy who's chasing hard and pushing contest from behind.
We still haven't formally met our coach yet. We do Zoom calls a couple times a week, film through Zooms. It's pretty different, but you have to roll with the punches.
So we gotta try to get the curl wider. And Bryce, you gotta open up and see both.
The worst thing I reckon that could possibly happen for a new coach is he's told, find a way to teach players via Zoom. It's been the most difficult start to a coaching career that I could imagine for Scott Morrison.
Got off Bryce's body, but you should be right in his body the whole time. And then as soon as Vic cuts, you're pushing Bryce wide.
Hard to tell us exactly how he wants it. It's gonna be a little difficult. We're kind of just learning on the fly.
We're not quite as far ahead as we could be if I was on the ground the whole time.
So you kind of stepped up. I know you want to take the ball, but again, we're giving up this a little bit. And if you're calling veer, that's a tough shot. You got a guy here to jab at the ball. Well, I'll talk to the coaches real quick and we're good.
I think it's been good for me personally just to, improve my communication skills, get a little more organized before I present things without the benefit of having to, backtrack or stop things on the court. It's a little tougher, but hopefully to make me a better coach in the long run.
How big's the traveling party for the Celtics?
In non-COVID times, probably like 60.
Yeah, sure.
Welcome. How are you?
You can see it. You're a little shorter than I thought you'd be.
How are you?
No.
What's going on? How are you?
What's up, fellas? How you doing, Jack?
How are you?
Yourself?
Yeah, good. What's going on, mate?
Made it.
Made it?
Made it in. Yeah.
How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
All right, we're gonna go around. Everyone say their favorite color and something about themselves that maybe we don't know. I'm just joking. Definitely first session physically, being on the court, but I feel like we've been together for a long time. I know it's weird me being here for the first time, but I've been watching you practice for 2 months, so I'm not really that worried about it. We'll just get right at it. Good shot, Mike. Good shot, Mike. So we're playing for stops. You stop, you stay. We're playing for 5 stops or time. It is an adjustment just to get here and see everything with my own eyes. It's been nice. You still have the low man. Whoever's guarding the corner is the low man. He's active, okay? But it's more of a triangle now.
I don't think we're at a disadvantage. I think we have all the pieces we need, and Coach Morrison is just the cherry on top.
Good cut. Good pass, Chuck. Good cut. Flip it over.
It's just been so different. So we'll see in a couple weeks if it was an advantage or a disadvantage.
Hello and welcome to Game 2 of our opening night. Morrison leading the Wildcats for the first time tonight as Vic Law buries the 3.
Reverse it through LT, rim screen, get Vic, try to get him downhill right here.
Law sees a path, baseline.
What a quarter he's had for the Perth Wildcats. Great pass by McCarron. They're hanging around.
Just won't go away, Adelaide.
After the first pass, 50. We got a block out now, 5 blockouts.
Denied by Majuk.
Get out of here with that.
Here comes Cotton, pulls up on Bairstow. Even late in the game, the 36ers with one last turnover. Vic Law wants 2 more, misses the dunk. It'll matter little.
I told the team after the game that for getting a first win, I was pretty proud of this one because of the heart and toughness that we showed, being a little bit shorthanded and some things not going our way the last couple months. So, yeah, I was real proud of the intangibles that we displayed out there. Scott Morrison, Prime Minister of Australia, head coach of the Perth Wildcats. I've been getting bombarded on Twitter for the last few years, people mistaking me for him or yelling at me for whatever reason. At least now they're yelling at me for basketball reasons on Twitter, but I still get the occasional one about politics too. My dad was a college coach in Canada. First job was when I was 25. I was interim head coach of the Dalhousie Women's Tigers. And from there, I became head coach of the Lakehead University men's team in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Did 11 years there. Got the job coaching the Celtics G League team, the Maine Red Claws. Did 3 years of that, and then I was with the Celtics as an assistant coach for 4 seasons before taking this job. I wanted to get back into head coaching. I wanted to coach at the international level and get that experience and learn from it. And wanted a new challenge at the highest possible level. So I think all those things combined led me to this position.
Dig it, little dig, not yet. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Come on, Red, dig in, Red. Come on, Red, dig in.
I did break the golden rule of coaching, which is you never want to be the guy that immediately replaces the legend.
Pressure on Scott coming in was enormous. You're trying to replace an icon in this club's history who has 5 of their 10 championships. And he's coming in learning the league, he's coming in learning about the club, he's coming in learning about the culture.
A tough job is Trevor Gleeson leaves and you walk into the Perth job. That's a tough job.
They're showing on Bryce, you're getting out quick, ready to make a play.
Tough gig to come to the Wildcats as a player and as a coach at any time. There's obviously a rich history and an expectation. no one wants to be that team or that player or that coach to miss playoffs.
35 years is a pretty incredible streak. It almost sounds fake, someone coming in from the outside. So I wouldn't prefer to be the person that breaks it, but to be honest, I have a lot more pressure on myself internally than any pressure that anybody could put on me outside. I took a chance and kind of bet on myself, to use a cliche, and we have a lot of good people around me, so it was kind of a stacked deck when I made the bet.
Weeks was open for a while and knocks it down. They're still hanging around, Tasman.
Calm down! Be solid down here!
He drives, takes on the defense, and scores with the extra to come.
Come on! Here's the thing. You know what they're doing? It's like a Spain with the guard. So it should be another switch here. That's not the problem. The problem is we're there, we're switching, and we let him go around us left. Hey, he's left-handed. Jump on it. Make him do something else. We'll figure that out later.
There's Luke Travers, and that's exactly what he can do. Vic Law all the way.
He's gonna go for 3 in a row. Why not? Why not?
He's blowing them apart. 101-83, the final result. And Perth solidify their spot inside the top 2.
Look, I think Vic Law and Bryce Cotton, dynamic duo. Who's going to beat them? No one's going to beat them right now.
Growing up, you know, on the south side of Chicago, you just play until the lights are on, right? Like, you play, and playing one-on-ones and 5-on-5 with your friends, it always means something. It's never just for fun. You're always out there for bragging rights or something a little bit deeper. Growing up, when I went from playing in the suburbs to then playing in the city, it was just like a complete different switch of like your mindset and mentality to the players, and kind of how they either, you know, eat or starve, basically. Like, you know, you're in those situations, you either play and get a scholarship, or you're just stuck in Chicago and all of the things that can kind of wrap you up there. Every night, just playing as hard as you can, giving it your all, and giving it your best shot, because when it's all said and done, if you can look back and just say, I did everything I could, I think you can live with yourself and be proud of what you did.
Law in the low block, guarded by King, got baseline and scores. If Cotton doesn't get you, Law will.
Big Law throw down.
Did he punch that in?
He did.
Law guarded by Vidanovic. Happy to pull up. It's good.
That is tough.
He's an extreme talent, and having a guy that can just go on a 4 or 5 minute streak where he'll just, you know, take the game over or have a huge impact on the game, whether it's offensively, defensively, you know, so versatile. So it's a joy playing with him. And aside from his talent, you know, he's a hell of a teammate.
When you have an unselfish superstar like Cotton, that just makes this team and that duo that much more difficult to defend.
So the borders are closed. Mark McGowan won't let anyone in, which means the Perth Wildcats had to go out. And initially, I think they were probably only supposed to go away for 6 weeks, stretched out to 9. That's a long time away from family and friends and the everyday lifestyle.
Getting it done.
Nobody can stop this.
Lob pass, Travers. Finishing touches. The curtain comes down on a remarkable display from the Perth Wildcats.
Every time we get a win, right now, it's like we're beating 2 opponents. We're beating the team that we're playing, which is no easy task, and then we're beating kind of our circumstances that are easy to also get down about or make excuses about. Everybody stepped up and did their thing, and I was proud of the guys for being so resilient.
Cotton top of the key.
Well, that's huge. Nothing but Cotton.
They come out today and give Adelaide the business on their home floor, 92-73. Oh, Travers. Huge win for the Perth Wildcats. They've got to be eyeing off the top 2 finish, surely.
It's been an unbelievable start. I think most fans just were starting to shine the next trophy, weren't they?
It's a Law who gets to where he wants to go, and he's done it all night, so we should not be surprised.
They had a great game plan. They executed it, and I think the only reason we won is because we had 2 guys that, you know, hit some crazy clutch shots.
Cotton for the win!
Oh my goodness!
4-point play to win the game!
NBL news now, and the Perth Wildcats are finally returning home after 64 days locked out of Western Australia. They'll play their last 9 games at home.
When they land in Perth in second position on the ladder with 9 consecutive home games, everyone's saying, how good's this? You're going to just charge towards the finals, challenge for top 2 and be in the best position possible, because no one likes coming here to play the Wildcats. So at the moment, everyone's saying the sky's the limit for what this team can achieve.
The fans, the Red Army back at RAC Arena to watch their beloved Perth Wildcats, and they are heating up for a championship run.
It's been a long time on the road, and having that many home games, we have a good opportunity to put ourselves in a good position on the ladder. Who knows how it's going to shake out, but at least we have the opportunity to, I guess, do something good to end the season.
We're a bit biased, but we think it's the best non-NBA team in the world. And it's hard to argue. A venue like this holds 15,000, 16,000, 35 consecutive final series. The passion of these people wearing red. I mean, it's so weird to be home. These guys were on the road for 64 days. The things they had to deal with family and friends and kids and pressures. Our coach, Scott, barely saw his own kids and family.
As away we go.
Oh, hello! Abercrombie with the 2 hands.
That's our 5!
34 points in the first quarter on the Perth Wildcats deck.
And that ends a very fun first half. In particular, if you're a Breakers fan, they have been great. 53% from the field.
Perth Wildcats, they need to reassess what they're doing.
Look, it's not going to be an easy win. These guys are a tough team. They're playing with confidence. We got to do something to take away their confidence a little bit.
And down. What?
Man down.
Law. Give the ball to that man and usually good things happen.
We are ready to have a real crack at yet another championship in NBL 22.
Are you excited to sleep in your own bed knowing you don't have any airports to go to in the foreseeable future?
It's the best feeling in the world, man. So it hasn't really sunk in yet, but tomorrow it'll feel good.
Bryce, you're a superstar. Thanks again, mate.
Cheers, man.
Last one for me. It has been reported, though, that you guys are signing John Brown III. He was recently spotted in Perth. Can you guys confirm the signing?
I've always wanted to do this. No comment. In the words of Bill Belichick, we're on to Tasmania. All right, thanks, guys.
They came back home having won 13 games, looking the goods. They had 9 straight at home. They were going to make the playoffs.
And Tasmania take the lead as we tick under 60 seconds.
Well, they showed some good skill with some tough shots at the end, but their effort won the game. They played harder, they cut harder. Sure, they wanted it more.
The team has been surrounded by this rumor about this guy potentially coming in. Has that clouded the fact that you were playing 2 games this round?
I don't know how that's relatable to anything that you're asking me. To be honest, if we had won, I'd be in a good mood and I maybe could do this little song and dance again. I'm tired of the questions. I was tired of them 4 days ago. It's not fair to the guys in the team. That's all anyone cares about. It's stupid. All right? And that's the last time I'm even acknowledging that as a question.
This has been an annihilation by the Sydney Kings against the Perth Wildcats. They've dismissed them out of the second spot. Says, we'll have that, thank you.
They lose 2 games. They haven't got an import who they've chased for a couple of weeks now. The import they do have is injured and isn't performing that well. And suddenly, the finals and the streak has everyone going, is this in jeopardy?
I mean, we got our butts kicked. That was pretty obvious. I think our team needs to realize that perhaps we're not as talented as some people would like to think. Sometimes when the usual tactics aren't working, maybe you say something like that to your team to try and fire them up.
I think he was just, I guess, trying to get to the point of no matter how good we are or how good we think we are, we have to play as if we're the worst players in the league.
With a game tomorrow night get inch closer to putting more pressure on the Wildcats for that 4th and final playoff spot.
One team came out tough to play hard, to play to win, and one team came out soft. The player side of the locker room has to look inside themselves after this one and see if they care about getting to the postseason or not.
Wildcats have to get back on track. They have to find a way to start winning. This team has to find a way to start gelling again and playing what they always refer to as Wildcats basketball.
Once you saw Vic Law go down, you knew they were in all sorts of trouble. Their best player alongside Bryce Cotton was gone, injured, not going to play. You could feel the energy sapped out of the team, and the crowd were going, oh wow, this is troubled times. So heading into the last week, everything had to go wrong for the Perth Wildcats. I mean, you were relying on Jack Jumpers to beat Melbourne. That wasn't going to happen. Melbourne are travelling rather nicely. And then Perth to lose to Illawarra and Phoenix. I mean, surely they'll win one of those two in the last two games.
Cotton fires the three and comes up with the goods. You can't keep a good man down. Reith knocks down another triple. 2 of 2 from deep. He's into double figures. But it's the Illawarra Hawks who lead at half-time. 50-45 is the equation.
Well, it's been a battle. That's what we expected.
And at the other end, Harvey coming up with the finish. Rattar Mays helps himself to 2. He's into double figures, and so is the lead. 4:30 left in the third, and the Wildcats have got problems.
Long game. Next play. Next play. Don't hang your head. Come on. Stick with the game plan. Anybody's game. Stick with the game plan. Transition, strong hand. Sit on that strong hand. Harvey's getting a little bit hot. Let him dance, stay square on his left shoulder.
To the loose ball rebound and makes them pay for being a little casual with it.
Here we go, Red. Tougher, come on. 5%, come on.
Wagstaff puts it on the deck against Cleveland. Good move, taking on the man with 3 fouls, getting it done as well.
Hey, you're going to get screwed. That's what this thing is.
What do you got left? Hey, what do you got left? Let's go.
Frazier, an unlikely hero, couldn't complete it, loose ball.
Everybody's talking now, come on.
Harvey, look away pass. Sam Frolling gets it done, draws a foul, chance at a 3-point play as Hawks just continue to have the answers here.
That'll do it. That will do it.
The Illawarra Hawks have beaten the Perth Wildcats for the first time this season, and they have done it by 5 points in a real arm wrestle. It's 82-77 Illawarra over Perth.
At the end of the day, it comes down to Sunday, right? Like, it's a one-game season. Every season comes down to a one-game season, and we've got to win to stay in it. So hopefully we have that fight on Sunday.
And what's your message to them all going to be about the pressure, the nerves, everything? Like, it's not a normal game now.
Probably just talk about the streak a lot. Everyone knows what needs to happen for us to keep playing. Everyone wants to keep playing. And everyone's going to empty their tank and give it all they have on Sunday. So just write that, and there's no more story.
So Illawarra was still fighting for the playoffs. That was always going to be a tough game, but surely they'd beat South East Melbourne. They had nothing to play for.
It means everything to the family. I've never known them to not be in the finals.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here at stake, but they know what to do to get the job done.
Everything was on the line, but when you walked into the arena, you looked around at all the fans and you go, yep, nervous, very stressed.
And it comes down to this, and the equation is simple. Wildcats win, they're in. Krieg taken on and scatters its way finally back into South East Melbourne Phoenix hands. Leafa, a tough shot, but that's a nice rebound back out from the hand of Matt Jook. Long range bomb, and the crowd back involved again.
Good. We see out there anything?
Like you said, they're going to have a crack and not fold if we keep putting pressure on them.
All right, if you see somebody, tell me.
Leafa found some space and a jam.
Highly reactive on the defensive end, just playing catch-up that whole time.
You said we got to lock in down there. Our fine details aren't good enough. They're fighting harder than us with the glass right now down there.
Are they sneaky hops, Bryce Cotton?
Munford, all net with that. That was pretty. Bryce Cotton off balance. Half-time, 52-46. Munford carved his way through them and floats it down.
Get the ball in his hands. Get the ball out of his hands. We're living with floaters, but we got to make the floaters as tough as possible.
Drive his way in, off balance too. Wow. Adam puts it up. Straight back at you. Ashley, it's getting dangerous now for the Wildcats.
Getting nervous.
Crowd getting really nervous.
A lot of game left, okay? A lot of game left. There's no second chances. We're good. Hey, 5 minutes. Let's go. Lock in. Come on, let's go.
27. 26, 25 seconds. Bryce Cotton carves his way past them with the shot to go in front. Blanchfield, he has the fire. Overtime.
Listen, attack. It's a fresh start now. Attack the paint.
Long range two. Got it.
Oh, wow. How easy do you want it?
Bryce Cotton has the ball in his hands. Danced inside. Got past them.
Come on, dig in. Come on.
Ashley doesn't go.
Oh,
my goodness.
Oh, no.
For the win. Bryce Cotton doesn't get it. And the unthinkable has happened.
No doubt the mood in the arena was streak's over. It was something we were all proud of as a fan base. And then there were angry fans as well. I think the streak was always going to come to an end. It's just unfortunate that new owners came in and a new coach came in, and then all of a sudden the streak ends.
Really happy and proud to be representing this team because we showed a lot of character throughout the course of the 5-6 months, 10 years, whatever it was. Feels like 10 years. Everyone's disappointed we didn't get it done, but really appreciate the owners, the fans, the players for accepting me personally and giving it their best effort. All we can do now is learn and get better for next season. I'm sorry that we didn't meet your expectations for this season. I know expectations are high here, as they should be.
It's with heavy hearts today that we confirm the resignation of our senior coach, Scott Morrison.
And it's a big one. Coach Scott Morrison has resigned, effective immediately.
Before Morrison's shock departure today, the Cats parted ways with CEO Troy Giorgio earlier this week.
The Perth Wildcats are in crisis tonight, searching for a new coach and a new CEO. Bonnie Rayner, owners of the usually stable organisation, are under fire.
We welcome the feedback. I don't take any offence to the tweets and the Facebook comments. It shows the passion. I don't think there's another club in basketball in Australia that has a fan base that cares this deeply.
There's no way they're getting to the grand finals.
Adams the off balance.
This is a goddamn sports fairy tale.
Jalen Adams! Bang! If the Kings thought this was going to be a victory lap, Tasmania have got other ideas.
Expecting another dogfight tonight.
Yeah, I love you, man. For real. Thank you for coming and being a part of it. You already know, man. Congrats. We did what we said we was going to do.